This story is a work of fiction. Similarities between characters or events to persons living or dead in your world are purely coincidental. Only those who have agreed to the above have the privilege of partaking in this game. I see. Everything that happens from here on in is real. Is that your cognition of this? Then unfortunately, I cannot allow you to partake of this game. I must ask that you leave.
Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 9th. Let's get going. It's finally here, the game you've all been waiting for. This isn't my first time through Persona 5. In fact, this is probably my 4th or 5th. So rather than achievement hunt, as I have them all, I want to get back to my roots and give a laid-back recap of the story as I personally would have played through it. I hope you all are excited for next year. I sure am. After getting captured at the casino and thrown into an unlawful interrogation room, seriously, where's my lawyer? I picked Merciless as my difficulty. Fun fact, it's actually easier than hard. Just means I'll be grinding more. After finally getting to speak with my lawyer, she asked me to recap the last year to get some answers. After telling her the story of how I got arrested for assault, I recapped my trip from my hometown to Yongen-Jaya, complete with my weird, out-of-body experience at Scramble. More on that later. I made my way to LeBlanc, and after being introduced to Sojiro Sakura, our resident bean daddy, I head to bed and wake up in a jail cell. This is my cognitive velvet room, a room that
Exists between dream and reality, mind and matter.
Now hurry up and go back to sleep!
Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 10th. Let's get going. Sojiro wakes me up from my velvet nightmare to drive me to Shujin Academy to register for the school year. I should be thankful. Apparently men aren't usually allowed in Sojiro's passenger seat. At Shujin, I get introduced to Principal A and my homeroom teacher, Miss Kawamami. They remind me like 4 times that I have a criminal record, and that if I cause any trouble during my time, they won't think twice about expelling me. I say I'll be on my best behavior going forward, and head home with Sojiro. Unfortunately, due to all the train derailments and accidents recently, we get stuck in traffic on the way back to Yongen, and Sojiro brings up a really bad accident that happened last month that killed a poor 15-year-old girl. Yeesh, man. Life really is short.
The inbound train will soon be arriving at platform number 1. Please wait behind the yellow line.
I don't have a visual yet.
After getting back too late to open up LeBlanc, Sojiro hands me a diary to keep track of my daily activities. Kinda like the real-world notes I keep. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 11th. Let's get going. Today's my first day at Shujin Academy. so after graciously enjoying a cup of coffee and a delicious plate of curry, I make my way to the Ginza line. First try. Unfortunately, it starts to rain, and since I forgot my umbrella, I have to the gorgeous babe gets picked up by her boyfriend, I guess. After denying the third wheel opportunity, I meet a local delinquent who recognizes that I'm lost, but not, and tries to show me the way to school. While walking, he says the guy that picked up the hottie is a teacher at Shujin named Kamoshida, and he calls him a pervert who thinks he's the king of the castle. We stumble upon a weird castle where the school should be, and almost immediately get captured by the guards. While in our cell, the teacher, Kamoshida, shows up and starts putting the mitts on our friendly delinquent, beating him so bad that I have to go beast mode to get him off. Damn, I look cool in this jacket. We lock old Yandere Dev in the cell, and start looking for a way out, when we come across none other than a talking cat.
I am not a cat.
Morgana helps us find the exit, and after getting chased away by some cops, I finally get to start my day at lunchtime.
Wait a sec. Is that guy for real?
After class, Wandi invites me up to the roof and introduces himself as Ryuji, before deciding that this morning was probably just a weird hallucination. I head home and get chewed out by Sojiro before heading to bed. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 12th. Let's get going. On the way into school, I notice a little redhead with a ribbon try to give up her seat to an older lady, but some random dude snags it before you can even say seat check. I offer to butt in, but the girl says it's fine, before catching me after the train stops to thank me anyway. What a cute girl. I hope we see more of her. After class, Ryuji suggests we try to figure out a way back into the castle, but after trying for maybe 5 minutes, I decide to give up. Ryuji gets upset, and reminds me of the navigation app that I've been trying to delete for the past few days. And like magic, we're back at the castle. We run into Morgana again, who takes it upon himself to begin training us, mostly me, on how to be a phantom thief. He teaches me how to perform ambushes and what safe rooms are, and Ryuji, bless his heart, tries to help me by handing me a model gun he bought. This causes Morgana to teach me about my favorite change from vanilla to royal, ammunition. See, in OG Persona 5, you had limited ammo on infiltrations, causing the gun to be used more as a knockdown tool. But in Royal, your ammo refills every fight, meaning you now have free reign to run wild. After Ryuji memorizes the faces of the slaves in the basement, we make our way to the foyer, and get stopped yet again by the Yee-Yee-S haircut. This time, however, we lose in the cutscene, leaving Ryuji to awaken to his persona, Captain Kidd. As a resident Elec user, Ryuji and Merciless's 3x boost to super effectiveness help us make quick work of the mini-boss, and we leave, capping our day off with some neat beef bowl action. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 13th. Let's get going. Today's a volleyball rally at school, and after watching Kamoshida absolutely mash this dork's face in, I kinda gain a little respect for him. During the break, Ryuji says we should go hunt down the volleyball members that he recognizes from the castle, to see if they have any injuries on them. After having no luck, as no one wants to rat on Kamoshida, I head to the courtyard to meet back up, but get found by that pretty girl, An Takamaki. It seems like she's trying to figure me out, but Ryuji shows up and accuses her of working with Kamoshida. That scares her off, and he asks me if I had any luck during the investigation, to which I respond that a name turned up. Emphysema? No. Kitajima? Nah. We confront Majima in the entrance on his way out, but before he can spill anything about Kamoshida being abusive, the man himself shows up. Yo, bad props for spiking him earlier, big dog. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 14th. Let's get going. After class, Ryuji and I meet up in the courtyard to discuss what we should do about Kamoshida. After suggesting we go to the police, Ryuji and I come to the conclusion that we look like psychopaths trying to explain the castle, so we figure we should try to take care of the creepy king. Morgana overhears this and appears in his cat form, and we quickly drag him to the roof, where the monster cat explains that if we steal the king's sacred treasure, we can cause the real Kamoshida to confess to his crimes. The only risk is if we mess up, Kamoshida could potentially die. Yeah, I'll take those odds. On the way home, I noticed Takamaki-san arguing with someone on the phone, and like any good incel looking for a boyfriend-free girl, I chase her down to make sure she's single. We head to a local burger joint, where she vents to me about how she's been forced to do what Kamoshida says in order to keep her friend Shiho on the volleyball team.
I've had enough of this. I hate him, but still, Shiho's my best friend. She's all I have left in that sorry excuse of a school. Tell me, what should I do?
He must pay. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 15th. Let's get going. While nonchalantly texting Ryuji during class and dealing with the sneaky cat in my desk, some students notice a girl on the roof of the practice building, getting ready to jump. That girl happens to be Takamaki-san's friend, Shiho.
Suicide is badass.
No.
Takamaki-san heads to the hospital with Shiho, and this sparks Ryuji to find Kamoshida and make him pay. We follow, and find him in the sports faculty office, where Mijumaru is revealed to be the one who leaked my criminal record. Kamoshida tells all three of us that he's going to have us expelled at the next board meeting, and Ryuji and I decide that our only course of action is to head into his palace and take care of him, subtly. Takamaki follows us in, however, meaning we have a headache for later. After escorting her out, we head inside the castle, where we jump a local pixie, and they get sucked into my mask. Now that I've unlocked demon recruitment, I figure I should try to get as many as possible, but Merciless works against me here by super juicing my effective attacks. While resting in the safe room, Mona discovers that Takamaki's been kidnapped, so we backtrack to go save her. Thankfully, the pretty girl knows how to stand up for herself, and awakens to her persona, Carmen. We make quick work of Belphegor, and drag An in her catsuit out of the metaverse.
I'm going to make Kamoshida atone for what he did.
I'll do whatever it takes.
I sneak Morgana home, where, after some dinner from Sojiro, he makes a deal with me to help him get his memory back. Where have I heard this before?
Alright.
Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 16th. Let's get going. After the movie that was yesterday, things slow down a bit. In class, Ryuji tries texting us about the plans for after school, but while checking the messages, the teacher, Mr. Ushimaru, notices and immediately beans me in the head with a piece of chalk, reminding me that I have to increase my social stats this playthrough. After recovering from the chalk bullet, we all meet up on the roof, where we decide that we should take today and tomorrow to prep for our infiltration into the palace. First item on the menu is medicine, which me and Morgana go get while Ryuji looks for a place to pick up weapons. Apparently, in Yongen-jaya, there's a doctor that will prescribe meds pretty easily, so I head to the clinic and am greeted by the babest of babes, and probably the best song on the soundtrack. I feed Dr. Takemi a half-true story about nightmares, and she sees right through me, though she still sells me some meds. God, I miss her old voice actress. I eavesdrop for a bit before ultimately being told to go home and go to bed by my pet cat. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 17th. Let's get going. I meet up with Ryuji in Shibuya, as he's found a place that will sell us some model guns, among other things. On the way to this totally legitimate establishment, we walk past an older guy giving some political speech, reminding me that I have to increase my social stats this playthrough. Ryuji drags me into a back alley, and we come across Untouchables, a local airsoft shop that is most definitely run by the mob. To prove this point, the guy behind the counter has a nice big theme song? Damn, shop themes in Persona 5 are amazing. The manager recognizes we're serious about our purchases, and with our limited funds, I upgrade An's weapon to bring her damage in line with mine, and Ryuji and I call it a day. At LeBlanc, Morgana makes me clear off the desk in the back of my room, and try my hand at making a lockpick. This will help with my proficiency stat, as well as keep me loaded up on treasure going forward. Man, only one? Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 18th. Let's get going. On the way to school, Kamoshida accosts me at the gate, trying his best to intimidate me into giving up, but it won't work on me. During homeroom, Kawakami-sensei pulls me aside to ask me some questions, and we run into that cute redhead from the other day. Apparently, she's a student here as well, and an athlete to boot. Kamoshida reminds her to stay away from me, and Kawamami lectures me on flirting with girls, and getting on Kamoshida's bad side. After class, I check the Thieves Guild, a feature that lets me see what every other Persona 5 player did today. It looks like most people went straight into the palace, but I decided to do a little shopping and start on Dr. Takemi instead. I stop by her office to try and convince her that I'm worthy of her special medicine, even going so far as to offer my body. For work, of course. She hands me a vial of mysterious liquid, which I immediately drink to show my guts. Still groggy from the experiment, I head back to LeBlanc and do some crossword puzzles, and some cleaning in my room. Welcome to Persona Everyday. It is April 19th. Let's get going. In class, the biology teacher, Hiruta-sensei, teaches us about optical illusions.
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. Where are your fingers?
Ryuji hits me up after school, telling me he wants to try training, as he was feeling sluggish in the castle. So we both get dressed in our jerseys and head out to the field. He tells me he used to be on the track team, at least until his confrontation with Kamoshida that resulted in him breaking a leg, and after a few laps around the school, he tells me the whole story. After Kamoshida brought up his deadbeat alcoholic father, Ryuji lashed out and got the track team broken up, causing his track friends to ghost him, as they could have made it to the championships. Ryuji thanks me for helping him train, and we both head home. At LeBlanc, I head upstairs and grab my DLC, mostly for the outfits, but money's good too. Then head back downstairs and bother the remaining patron, so I can read in peace. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 20th. Let's get going. It's raining today, which means it's a perfect day to get started on the infiltration. After reading my book on the train and walking to the school gate, I meet the gang on the roof and head into the castle. Before we can begin, I get stopped by one of the Velvet Room attendants, and get forced to fuse my Pixie and Arsene into a Gatian. I resummon Arsene,
I just think they're neat.
and start making my way through the castle. I've said it before, but Merciless's damage multiplier makes it really hard to get knockdowns without killing stuff, so I spend most of the castle one or two-shotting stuff. Thankfully, this Pyrojack offers himself up for indentured servitude, and I pick up a few more friends along the way. Kamoshida's palace is chock full of simple, easy-to-solve puzzles such as put book in bookshelf, pull lever, and, the worst of them all, defeat enemy. I actually get set back about a half an hour, as I get jumped by an Archangel that immediately blows us up. I also collect the 3 will seeds and form the Crystal of Lust, which I hand to Ryuji as a reward for blowing up the mini-boss, and so everyone in the party can cover healing in the early game. We secure our route to the throne room, and the treasure, and after patting ourselves on the back, I head home and craft some lockpicks to make up for the ones that I used. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 21st. Let's get going. While waiting for the train, Ann appears and becomes the first to ask when we're going to send the calling card. The worst part of beating a palace early is that every waking moment of the rest of the team is going to be spent asking me to send the card. Well, maybe I don't wanna. After school, I try to spend some time with Dr. Takemi, but apparently I'm not brave enough, which reminds me that I need to raise my social stats this playthrough. During my shopping trip, I get forced into the Velvet Room by the attendants, where I get shown the challenge battles. I actually want to get all of these done this playthrough, and yes, I mean all of them. After clearing the first one very easily by putting the Breeze Ring equipment on, I head back to school to study in the library. I arrive home to the smell of coffee and curry, and Sojiro sits me down for a chat. He tells me he's been pretty busy with the cafe in his personal life, and offers to teach me how to make coffee if I help around LeBlanc. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 22nd. Let's get going. It's Friday, so I head to the school store to pick up some yakisoba bread, but I get stopped by Kamoshida on the way. He basically throws it in my face that I have no control over the situation, and that we will be expelled at the next meeting. Not if I have anything to say about it. I call everyone to the roof to send the calling card, and Morgana tells us that we'll only have one chance, as the effect of the card on Kamoshida's cognition will only last about a day. Ryuji says he wants to write the card, which, I mean, is probably a bad idea, but I guess he can. While everyone heads home to prep for the big day, I decide to relax with the DVD I rented. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 23rd, and we sent the calling card. Overnight, I guess Ryuji posted a bunch of the calling cards in school, and hey, the logo actually turned out okay. Can't say the same for the message.
We know how shitty you are.
The calling card works extremely well, pissing off the pervert king, and we hop into the metaverse to steal his treasure. We waltz into the throne room and discover a massive crown that Mona immediately goes haywire over. Us 3 able-bodied folks carry the big-ass crown down and out like it's a game of Repo, but it gets knocked out of our hands by Shadow Kamoshida. After proclaiming that he's a demon who rules this castle, and transforming into something resembling a registered sex offender, the battle begins. This battle is separated into 3 phases, with the first phase being a waste of time until he uses his healing move. The second being us destroying his healing move and taking down a cognitive version of Shiho, and the third requiring me to send someone to steal the crown right off his head. At first I try sending Skull, but I can't output enough damage to distract him, and get absolutely murdered after placing him with Mona. My second go around, I remember that I can use buffs and debuffs, and like any good SMT enjoyer, I quickly take care of the perverted King of Lust. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 24th. Let's get going. It's Sunday, so there's no school. While eating my daily curry and drinking my daily coffee, courtesy of my daily Sojiro, Ryuji texts me saying he wants to get some daily training in today. I figure, hey, why not? We deserve a day to do whatever, since we stole Kamoshida's treasure. Before I go sneak into the school to do some running with Ryuji, I realize that today's Sunday, and you know what that means. Wait, it's not Tanaka? What the heck, man? Me and Ryuji run our laps, and while resting between sets, some guys from the track team come up and start instigating with my boy, so I do my best to keep him cool-headed. They leave, unhappy they can't bait Ryuji into a fight, and he thanks me for keeping him calm. I head home, and Sojiro gives me the okay to wander Yongen-Jaya at night, so I head across the street and take a bath. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 25th. Let's get going. On the train to school, I read a little bit of the new book I picked up from the library, only to realize that the night I stole the treasure, I finished my DVD that I rented, causing my guts' social stat to raise. After helping Ann out in class with the answer, I head to the Velvet Room, infuse a Mandrake of the Death Arcana, and make my way to the Goth Mommy's headquarters. She gives me a new blend of the drug from last time, and just like last time, I happily gulp it down, only to pass the fuck out. Before we can start testing upon my revival, a cop wanders into the exam room and starts harassing Dr. Takemi. He demands that she hand over a detailed report of her expenses and her records, and, unfazed, Takemi explains that this is harassment from her superiors. The cop pivots to me, looking to find any wrongdoing, but I'm flat out with him, which causes him to leave. Takemi takes her tests, and I walk back to LeBlanc, where Sojiro starts showing me the ropes of being a bean daddy. While explaining how to recognize a regular, this older dude comes in and starts harassing Sojiro. Lunk is having none of it though, and the guy leaves, threatening to return. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 26th. Let's get going. After class, I check the Thieves Guild and see that most people spent time upping their social stats today, so I decided to get the jump on that. I spend my afternoon studying in the library while listening to everyone spread rumors about me, and this raises my knowledge and guts. I end my night by heading to the batting cages, as suggested by Photos by Jumpreel. I actually encourage suggesting stuff for me to do this playthrough. I love the variety that Persona 5 gives you. There's literally so much to do in this game, it's insane.
Nice.
Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 27th. Let's get going. On the way to school, I come across the rare voiced cutscene, basically throwing it in my face that, in this playthrough, I have to raise my social stats.
I guess I'll start by showering every day. I hear girls prefer a dude who's hygienic.
In class, Miss Usami asks my favorite question in all of Persona, about how you can paint any picture using the four-color theorem. This is the one question I remember the best, as I've genuinely put this info into practice in real life. After class, Ryuji and I get some exercise in. No rank up today, sadly. And I head home to LeBlanc, where I knock out a crossword puzzle before shoving Sojiro out the door so I can brew some coffee. After successfully brewing a standard pot, Sojiro comes back from the convenience store to school me on the type of bean I used, Blue Mountain.
Let me explain.
Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 28th. Let's get going. In the morning, Ryuji continues the dreadcore that began when we sent the calling card, saying he's afraid it didn't work. Out of the way, dumbass, I'm staring at the cutie with the ribbon. Speaking of cuties, after class, I get a text from Dr. Takemi, saying she's ready for another clinical trial. I head over there straight away for my daily dose of Goth Mommy, and after chugging her new bathwater and experiencing mild side effects, she receives a call from an EMT trying to transfer a patient to her. But she's not a hospital, she's a general practitioner. The EMT hangs up upon finding out it's Takemi's practice, and she explains that she's been blacklisted by the medical community for a single error. I reassure her that I'm not bothered by her past, and she thanks me for being her guinea pig. I head home, and spend my evening making some taluegos. Kaireru. I mean, go homes. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 29th. Let's get going. It's a holiday, so with my day off, I decided to do a little exploring before meeting up with Ryuji at the arcade in Shibuya. He drags me to Ogikubo to get some ramen, and after gulping down our hot soup, Konohamaru starts gossiping about the track team, namely how he's seen Nakaoka, that bully guy from before, and he doesn't seem to be getting along with the rest of the team. Ryuji says he's a little worried about him, and that he feels a little guilty about how the rest of the team was putting up with Kamoshida and he just couldn't. I remind him that he's not the only outcast here, and he laughs, saying we're a couple of goofy goobers. We break off from each other, and I head home to brew some more coffee.
Let me explain.
Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's April 30th. Let's get going. On the way to school, I finished my book on Zoro, which I promptly forget to return after class. What I do remember is that I have a free round at the batting cages in Yongen, so I head there and knock out the beginner level award for hitting all 5 balls, and the award for hitting a home run.
Nice.
It's a sweet cap. I end my night by watching my Guy Mech for a DVD. Man, what a proficient day.